One stormy night, a woman full of panic races through the rain towards a nearby store. When she gets to the gas station, she desperately knocks on the door, pleading with the clerk to let her in. But he shakes his head and tells her they're closed. So she sprints to a nearby telephone booth and calls the cops, crying that someone has taken her kids and is chasing her. While the police try to find out where she is, as the line suddenly goes dead and a bright light blinds her. After a moment, the clerk comes out and is shocked to see the telephone booth has vanished. As he hurries back inside to tell someone, the booth crashes to the ground, but the woman isn't there. The next morning, the police arrive, and Sheriff Murphy discovers the woman's wallet at the scene. In the next scene, April and her boyfriend Kyle head out to spend the weekend at her parents' cabin. However, Kyle has invited his friends Seth, Melanie, and Seth's girlfriend Lex along. On the way, Seth sets off fireworks in the car, and they get pulled over by Sheriff Murphy, who gives them a warning. When they reach the cabin, April's friends reminisce about their childhood summer spent there. They start enjoying their weekend by drinking and smoking marijuana, getting high together. Later, April and Melanie take a walk with the dog, Rusty. Melanie asks April about her plans to transfer to NYU and if she's talked to Kyle about it. April reveals she's planning to break up with Kyle. Melanie tries to convince her that Kyle is a good guy and they could be great together, but April doesn't want to be one of those girls who marry their high school sweetheart. While they're talking, Rusty starts barking and dashes off towards something. April warns against it, but Melanie follows the dog, with April trailing behind. They end up near a private property. Despite April's caution, Melanie sneaks in to retrieve her dog, and April reluctantly follows. As they search for Rusty, they stumble upon a weed farm. April urges them to leave, worried about getting into trouble with drug dealers. Just as they're about to go, a man wielding an axe appears, threatening them for trespassing. April explains they're just looking for their dog and mention they own a cabin nearby. The man, named Travis, recognizes April from her father and invites them inside. In Travis's house, April notices a photo of him from his time in the Army during the Vietnam War. Travis shares stories about his experiences, mentioning he's seen a lot of strange things during his service. Travis shares with them a picture captured by his thermal motion camera, explaining it's a spot used by the military for testing their advanced technology. He warns them to stay safe. Back at the cabin, while everyone is chatting, Kyle approaches April, asking for a private conversation. They go upstairs and Kyle expresses his love for April over the past 3 years and his desire to take their relationship to the next level by proposing marriage. April hesitates, unsure about the idea. Kyle, confused, asks for a reason. April admits she needs some time apart from him. Shocked, Kyle storms out of the room in anger. Meanwhile, at the police station, Sheriff Murphy reviews footage from the gas station. He notices a strange light descending from the sky, coinciding with the woman's disappearance. Later that night at the cabin, Kyle becomes heavily intoxicated, unable to cope with the rejection. He gets into a heated argument with April, with Seth filming the whole ordeal. April defends her stance, citing her parents' divorce as her reason for not believing in marriage. Kyle tries to reassure her that their relationship could be different. Amidst the argument, they notice something fiery streaking across the sky, crashing into the nearby forest. They all pile into the car and head towards the crash site. After parking nearby, they cautiously approach on foot. To their astonishment, they discover that it's not an airplane, but a UFO that has crashed. Fear grips them all as they stare in disbelief. As they stand in shock, Lex steps back and finds footprints leading into the forest, adding to the mystery of the situation. As they return to the cabin and lock themselves inside while rain pours outside, they review the footage Seth recorded. Melanie suggests contacting the police since they have proof, but the others doubt the police would believe them. April grows increasingly terrified as she realizes the footprints led in their direction. Amidst their argument, the power suddenly goes out, sending everyone into a panic. They rush to the basement to flip the breakers back on. While checking the electrical box, they hear Rusty barking outside, followed by strange noises. April recalls her father's mention of a gun and retrieves it from a box, loading it nervously. With Kyle by her side, both armed, they cautiously venture outside. Kyle quickly shuts and locks the door behind them, peering through the door hole to see if anything's outside. As they search the area, Kyle suddenly spots an alien approaching them. April swiftly turns and takes a shot. Afterward, they all venture outside to look for the alien. Near the pool, they discover the alien's lifeless body floating in the water, sending shivers down their spines. Terrified, the group rushes back to their car and tries to leave the area, but they come to a halt when they encounter a massive fallen tree blocking the road. April examines it closely and realizes it was deliberately placed there, with the trunk neatly cut. She informs Kyle of her findings, Suddenly, Seth notices that the rain has stopped, but only within a certain radius. They look up and see a UFO hovering above them. Panicking, they scramble back into the car, but Lex steps out when the car fails to move. Despite their frantic pleas, Lex is bathed in light from the UFO and lifted away. Meanwhile, Sheriff Murphy investigates Nancy's camping van. He stumbles upon a video camera and watches in horror as he sees footage of the woman's son being abducted by the aliens. His heart pounding, he searches further and finds Nancy inside the van, visibly shaken and frightened. Sheriff Murphy quickly reports the situation, urgently requesting backup to deal with the alarming discovery. April and the others travel through the woods until they reach Travis's place. They explain to him that their friend has been abducted by the aliens. They show him the video that Seth recorded. Travis then reveals a shocking truth. The U.S. government has a contract with the extraterrestrials since Roswell incident. The extraterrestrials abduct people and leaving the government to deal with the aftermath. The only rules are that no human is allowed to interact with them. As April shoots one of the alien, it is considered a violation of the treaty, and now the intruders are hunting her. When something appears on their radar heading toward them, Travis grabs a pistol to protect his territory. He goes out to confront the intruder and hides under a desk. The intruder attacks Travis and he shoots him in the face. At first, Travis thinks the intruder is dead. Blood drips down his face. He tries and gets out and starts to walk away, but the alien jumps out and grabs him. Back inside the house, everyone scrambled to block the doors and windows, hoping to stay safe. Suddenly, a strange noise from outside caught their attention. April cautiously peeked through the door hole and saw an alien lurking outside. Seth, thinking quickly, reached for the gun, ready to defend the group. But just as he prepared, the door swung open. In the dim light, he mistook Sheriff Murphy and Deputy Mitchell for aliens and was promptly arrested. April tried to explain to Sheriff Murphy what was happening. She told him about the crashed UFO and their missing friend. They also mentioned the dead alien they had found. Sheriff Murphy decided to take April and Kyle back to the cabin to investigate. But when they arrived, there was no sign of the alien. It had vanished. Suddenly, a noise echoes from the garage, prompting Sheriff Murphy to investigate. He instructs the others to stay put in the safety of the house while he checks it out. Unbeknownst to him, the alien sneaks past, disappearing into the trees. Sheriff Murphy heads to his car, where Seth is still detained in the back. Deputy Mitchell, deeply troubled by his own personal turmoil, tries to reason with Sheriff Murphy. He insists that the sheriff is only looking out for the kids because of his belief that his own wife was taken by aliens. Despite Deputy Mitchell's attempts to convince him otherwise, Sheriff Murphy remains steadfast in his conviction that his wife was abducted. As the car starts, they are shocked to see the alien standing right in front of them, leaving them all stunned. Using its otherworldly powers, the alien manipulates Sheriff Murphy's mind, forcing him to shoot Deputy Mitchell and then himself, leaving a chilling silence in its wake. April rescues Seth, and they all rush back inside the house. Seth, overcome by panic, insists on fleeing to town. He grabs the gun from April and threatens to leave them behind, fearing the aliens will only target April because she shot one of them. When the others refuse to abandon April, Seth ventures out alone. Soon after Seth's departure, the UFO reappears above the cabin, signaling the aliens' return. An alien manages to break into the house. Kyle takes charge, sending April and Melanie to the basement for safety, blocking the door behind them. Armed with only a knife, Kyle hides in the bathroom, hoping to surprise the aliens. But his plan fails when an alien ambushes and abducts him. Meanwhile, Seth races through the forest, desperately trying to reach town. But his efforts are in vain as he realizes the alien is following him. Seth fires his gun at the alien, but when he runs out of bullets, the alien attacks. As Seth struggles on the ground, the UFO reappears, pulling him upward. In a last-ditch effort to resist, Seth cuffs himself to a tree, but he's ultimately taken by the aliens, leaving behind only his severed hand. In the basement, April and Melanie share memories of fishing trips with April's parents. But as fear grips Melanie, she makes a heartbreaking decision to end her life rather than face abduction, overdosing on sleeping pills and leaving April alone to confront the aliens. Determined to fight, April arms herself with a crowbar, ready to defend herself. However, the aliens surprisingly depart without incident. April's relief is short-lived when she discovers Kyle's ring missing and realizes they've taken him. In a desperate bid to draw them back, April sets off fireworks, luring the aliens' attention. They return and April finds herself abducted alongside Kyle. Awakening on the alien spaceship, April explores the eerie, dimly lit corridors, encountering grim scenes of human corpses and a disturbing alien-human hybrid. Meanwhile, Seth finds himself stripped and strapped to an upright operating table, subjected to grotesque and ultimately fatal medical experiments. Finally, April reunites with Kyle, and they embrace in the face of the alien threat. But their reunion is short-lived, as the aliens use their telepathic powers to render them unconscious. Kyle and April awaken in a field, relieved to be back on Earth. Overjoyed, they share a kiss before embarking on the journey home through the forest. However, their reunion is short-lived when they stumble upon U.S. Army soldiers at the crash site of the UFO. Desperate for help, Kyle and April run toward the soldiers, but their hopes are shattered when the soldiers open fire, mortally wounding them both. As they lie on the ground, April gives Kyle the engagement ring, which he tenderly places on her finger. Tragically, before they can receive aid, the soldiers shoot them dead. Their bodies are callously dumped into a pit and incinerated, ensuring there are no surviving witnesses. The military's cleanup operation continues, confirming Travis's theory that the U.S. government is concealing the existence of extraterrestrial life. In the final scene, an alien is seen held captive by the military, highlighting the depths of the government's secrecy. With that, the movie concludes. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next video.